There is a thin divide between what is perceived as spiritual and paranormal, for they are forever entwined throughout time. Traveling within the history of the world, we can find examples of spirituality that involves everything from magic, spirits, gods and goddesses, and seers, or people said to be able to talk to the dead. We all have our belief systems and we all have our own truths. So come sit with Holly Jenkins and myself as we talk about all that and more. Welcome to Spiritually Paranormal.
Hey.
Wow, I don't know what it's... Go ahead.
Real quick, I might get interrupted. I don't know. Today has been a busy day in the office, and I got a feeling my boss is going to be coming in at some point during this podcast to pick up a bunch of stuff and may have me do some more things. I don't know.
No problem. It's been a crazy 3 days for me too. Very intense. A lot of work with some people.
Last day of retrograde. Last day. Thank you, Jason.
Let me tell you, that full moon kicked butt with it. I mean, and I'll tell you privately, it's been crazy 3 days, and not for me assisting certain people, but yeah, it's a lot. So yeah. So what's the weather like down by you right now?
Bright and sunny in the 70s.
Well, it's bright and sunny here too, but it's only 37 degrees. Yesterday
we had that. Sunday it was Saturday. It was fairly nice. I took the boys fishing.
Poor Bob. Bob needs his own channel, and
he
Bob
has his own channel.
Well,
Brit.Booger.
Well, then he needs to promote it more, and we need to stand.
He has just as many followers as I do.
I am standing in solidarity with your husband. I am.
Blah, 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 blah.
I just look at him and I say, oh my God, she does to him what she does to me. That's
what are you talking about? I am innocent.
Yeah,
I am the sweet little angel in all this.
Oh yeah, and thanks for the tutorial on 4-leaf clovers and 5-leaf clovers.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
what else can I do for you today?
I'm not gonna say because it might get scary for me.
But yeah, so Saturday was fairly nice. It was cooler than it had been, but it was okay because we're out in the sun on the lake. And then Sunday, I didn't even leave the house because it was just cold and yucky. Then, of course, the week comes and it's bright and sunny, but I got to be indoors at work. And so today is really nice in this mid to upper 70s today.
We had a storm last night. It shook the house. I mean, it was wind, it was lightning and thunder. Lightning hit out. I've got this spot on my property by the road. Lightning strikes it. I can see the lightning come down, and it's the same spot on the asphalt, right?
Right.
Then I was thinking back, and I was thinking, yeah, when I was living in Detroit, married and living in Detroit, I had the same thing. It was right in the the corner of my property on the street, and all these electrical wires are way up, and it goes right through the middle of them. And I thought, geez, I wonder if the lightning's following me. Isn't that kind of weird? I mean, to be in different homesteads and have the same occurrence every time it storms, it hits.
Yeah, could be. You never know.
Yeah, well, we're doing well with mango, as you know, and I'm sure everybody else knows. I'm doing a special for $40 a read.
It's all that.
To benefit. I have a baseline like you do, right? We pay our bills, we do everything, and if I have extra, it's from my reads. But I wanted to generate enough. I've got a pair from the same rescue that I got Phoenix from. I didn't necessarily want a pair, but They're the only lovebirds there, and they are so cute, Holly.
Oh.
Female looks a lot like Mango, but even brighter. And then the little boy that's with her is blue with a black mask and white rings around his eyes. Oh my
Yeah.
God, so freaking cute. I already named them, and I let the rescue know. I said, I want them. Ear tag them for me. Hush,
Yeah.
hush. I know you're getting friends. And I named them. Mango and I named them. And it's Sass and Frass.
That's cute.
The little boy is Frass. The little girl is really Sass. Yeah, I know that's Holly. He was just jamming. He's mad because I turned the music off. I just posted it. He likes certain music. He'll dance all the time, like no matter what I put that particular song on. So I put the radio on. That's enough screaming. And Texas Hold'em came on. I don't mind the song. I don't want to listen to it every day. It's the same way with Flowers. It does give you a good beat, and it's an upbeat. He just came over here, and he's bopping up and down, and I'm like, okay then. So I hit replay, and it replay. He did the same thing. So he's not happy that I turned his music off. He's demanding a lot of time, though. It is kind of sad to watch. He gets out of his cage in the morning when I let him. Everybody else is eating. And he goes right over to the parakeet cages and just sits in front of them like, play with me, please. And he'll sit there for an hour. Just play with me, please. And they're not scared of him, but I can't let him in because he's so bossy and they're tinier than he is. So it's like, if I make him or open the opportunity, he might hurt them because they won't even come out of their cage. So, yeah, it's a lot. But animals, that's an interesting thing. And I don't think everybody understands that animals grieve as well. Even when I had my horses, my mare, actually, which is really weird that it would even happen, she wound up having twins. And she lost one way before her due date, right? Yeah. And we thought it was only the one foal, but they all grieved. They came, and it was in the wintertime, and she lost it. And her other son that was full grown and other horses that were on the farm, they all came up and went around a circle with the baby that had passed. And I actually had to leave it there just for a little bit because they needed to know that the mare was okay, and it's okay. They're grieving with her. Right. And, when I had to move them, when I had to leave my other house, they were split up. That was one of the worst things that I ever had to do in my life was separate them. And they were crying for each other and grieving each other. And I look at that, and it's like, even in the wild, like the geese, they mate for life. If they lose their mate, they grieve. And, I don't think people understand how nature does that, I just don't get it. Have you witnessed anything like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, over the years, we've had so many different pets. And when you have two that are together for a really long time and one is suddenly gone, you can see a complete difference in their behavior, their demeanor, everything. And it's pretty sad. Of course, they grieve. That's their friend, their buddy. Yeah. I mean, we've got Ghost, Michaela's husky. And Homer is the lady across the street. It's her dog. They are best buddies. If they don't get to go, they have play dates. And if they don't get their play date, oh my God, both of them will walk around the house and just sulking, because they want to be with their buddy. They want to be there with them.
I just think that's really important, the connections. And I think that sometimes, whether we realize it or not, we're connected to them too. Yeah. And I think if something happens to them or something changes with them, I think we get that energy as well. So it's just kind of crazy. So what have you been up to? Oh, and I want to say, let's say hi to everybody first. Hi, Margaret, Cindy, Pinkham. How are you? Hi, Kate. How are you doing, Kate? And then we have Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. I'm going to go, hi, Chloe. Hi, Rio Dells. How are you? Okay, so what have I been doing?
Well, I've been trying not to write books while we're in retrograde. I did change the dragon journal that I published during retrograde. I changed the cover and I added more pages. And I changed the cover and added more pages and more I am statements to the I am manifesting journal. I love that one. The I am statements. I say several different I am statements 3 times a day, 11 times each. I am a magnet for wealth, prosperity, and success. I'll say it 11 times, then move on to the next one. I am healing my mind, body, and soul with every breath. And now imagine that. I see that. I see my mind, my body, and my soul healing as I'm saying them. With every breath, I'm getting healthier and more fit. And I'm doing my best. I started back walking this week. I'm not doing 20,000 steps like I was before, but yesterday I did 9. Today, so far, I've got to 64. So I'm getting there.
Well, my body you got to remember, and I told somebody this yesterday, you have to remember, it took a long time to get you to where you are right now. There's no easy button. So it's going to take a while for you to get to where you want to be.
Well, I mean, I got sick over 2 years ago, and that's when all the other things started crumbling because of the cocktail they gave me in the hospital caused all these other things that I've been trying to battle and get beyond, and I'm still not there, but I'm trying to get there. So then another I am statement is money flows to me easily and effortlessly. And then I say some of these. I am stepping into the happiest time of my life. I am stepping into the most successful time of my life. I'm stepping into the most creative time of my life. I am stepping into, whatever it is for you. I'm stepping, I'll release all fear, all worry, all doubt, all anxiety, all stress. I say those over and over again. I'll release this, I'll release that. I'm stepping away from this, I'm stepping away from that. Do those I am statements are so powerful because the universe works in the here and now, not in the past and not in the future. That the universe is working with us right now in the present moment.
You're going to laugh because when I got up this morning, I've been honoring my own space. So when I wake up, I kind of zombie through and feed and water.
If you could smell me right now. Michaela brought home yesterday, because you said you've been honoring your space. She brought home yesterday this Palo Santo and sage oil, perfume oil.
Well, mine wasn't about smelling. Mine was about...
My space stays cleansed all day.
Well, I let my mind kind of naturally come away.
Yep.
I put really soft music on, and, I might do one of my games or something, or just sit there. And then when I totally wake up, I go shower. And then when I get out, it's like, okay, part of me says, oh, no, I should do this, but no, I don't want to. So this morning when I got up, I said, no procrastinating. Step out of procrastinating. This is stupid. It's not a big deal. Just do it. So I did. And it was, and I'm not
eat the frog first.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why I was procrastinating. It's my painting of Centauri. I mean, it's got to go out. Obviously, it's got to go out. But and it's not in a big hurry to get there because the person getting it is, I think, in California right now anyway. But it's like I need to push myself. And it's not that I wanted to keep him here. I couldn't explain what it was. So I just packed it and I'm like, God, that was really dumb. It only took me 5 minutes to do it. Why was I procrastinating? And so every morning now I've been getting up. I have to say to myself, okay, you have to accomplish at least one major thing. And it's like past few years have been really rough and I'm just getting to the point where I can start doing again. But it's like I've been not doing for so long. And I kind of think that might be part of that reason. And it's shoving me to that point of, okay, no, you've got to switch it up. You've got to be able to do this.
So on my way, I've been getting up a little earlier, coming into the office. I don't come to the office first. There's a little park right down the street, not even a mile from me, and it's very almost completely flat track.
Mhm.
And I walk that 5 times around is 1 mile. I can't do a mile yet. How terrible! How ridiculous that I was walking 10 miles a day and I can't do 1 mile
Holly, I can't walk to
consistently.
the mailbox. I can't
So
walk to the mailbox. So don't say I can't get in a mile. It's a
right,
gradual thing. You have to
right.
be.
Well, I was doing 1.5 laps. My back, it just tightens up like a wrench, so tight because I've been walking funny because of my feet from the freaking cocktail they gave me. So anyway, now I'm up to 3 laps. I can do 3 laps, okay, no problems. But toward the end of that third, there's it goes to my back. So I stop. I don't push myself, and I'm hoping that maybe next week I'll be able to go 4. But if I don't, if I can go 3, I'll just keep going 3 until I can do 4.
I'm happy just to get out to the shed to feed the boys, the strays in the area, because I let them go in there and they eat in there and they drink fresh water. And like I've told everybody, my goal is this summer that they'll trust me enough that I can take them in and get them neutered, because we don't need more kittens in the area and nobody's taking responsibility. So I'm glad I can just get there and back to the house without falling. Okay, always have my phone on, always, and it's like I feel like an old bear walking.
I got myself because I felt like maybe this would help me, and it has got me from being able to do 1.5 to doing 3. I got the walking poles, the trekking poles.
Oh,
It takes some of the pressure off of your joints and stuff. So I got those, and I've been using that as I've been walking around that track.
I tried with canes. I've tried with the walker, and I tried with the hiking pole, the hiking staff. All that did for me was when I fell, I got a black eye. So, because I just go down like a ton of rocks. So, yeah. Here's a good question from Brenda. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Can you see that?
Yep. The answer is yes. 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 This is the thing.
Do you think more people are becoming aware of various portals?
I think people are waking up to all the supernatural, all the spiritual, all of it. People just they're realizing the truth. They're seeing it. It's coming out and staring at them in the face, so that they can't ignore it anymore, and they can't just poo-poo it away. You know what I mean? But as far as dreaming goes, that's when you're most relaxed. That's why spirits will come into our dreams. They can talk to us and communicate better to people in their dreams, because they're not trying to do things in a physical way while you're dreaming. And while you're in that state, everything is energetic.
Yeah.
Everything is energy. So that's why, and yeah, you can time travel, you can go through portals, you can do all that.
Well, I didn't watch it last night because I fell asleep. I was going to watch something with Raylan last night about, because Skinwalker Ranch came back on. What they're doing, and I watched it this morning because it taped for me, they have a portal, and they're like not sure if it's a black hole or a portal, but they've actually, through scientific experiments, and one of the guys that's there is an astrophysicist, so I mean, and he used to work for the government, so I mean, he knows what he's talking about. They mapped out, they took 2 helicopters up, right? And
that's awesome, Kay.
Opposite ends. And when they went on, each was on a different side of this black hole portal, whatever it is, they weren't receiving the signals that they were sending out to each other. And then when they get to another certain angle, they could get it again. And they mapped this thing out, and it actually lost, there's spaces in the graph where...
Think about the Bermuda Triangle.
This is what it is, and it's actually is a triangle on the ranch, and it's attached to part of the mesa. And for me, and I know, everybody's like, oh yeah, those kind of shows. No, it's scientific. And that's why I like this show, because they're pushing the limits to, okay, so what's going to happen if we put up 500 drones in the air right over this? Well, they get them up, they launch them, and they all start falling, right? All of them come crashing out of the sky. Okay, so why is that? They've never had anything like that, and this
Right.
trauma, So yeah, I think there are portals in more places than we realize. I really seriously do. And the
Yep.
Bermuda Triangle is the same way. People have gone in and come out of certain areas where they've lost time, like complete time, and it's recorded like on their thing, and they don't know how they got there so quick or where they like what happened. So to me, that's very interesting with the portals. I just, yeah. Oh, here, wait, let me pull it up.
It says, I saw bright colors that were amazing. I was a little bit scared, thinking I was dying. No, definitely not dying.
Well, what are the bright colors? The bright colors, from my perspective, when I like take for example when Pip just recently died, and I went to Dream State, my mom pulled me in, took me to my horses that had passed, and then she took me to another section where I met Taylor's grandpa, who absolutely loved animals, and he put his hands out and he pushed me and told me to just slow down, put his hands out, and Pip came in, right? But the thing that was so brilliant about it were the colors. Everything was a million times magnified in color and energy, and it was clean and it was fresh, and it was just a whole different thing. So when I see, yeah, you're looking at colors, that to me just speaks volumes, and it's validated for you, because there are a lot of people that have done that. You've seen that as well, correct?
Yeah.
It's I can't even explain it. And the thing was, when I went there, and I don't know, Brenda, what happened when you went through it? What do you remember from being there? Because whenever that happens to me, it's telling me a story. And like, I was actually, to be honest with you, I was shocked. My mom brought my horse in, and the horse came up to me and wrapped her head around my shoulder, like kind of giving me a hug. It just made me feel so much love in that moment. Everything is just amplified. And when I woke up, I totally remembered it. So it wasn't like, oh, this is a dream. No, it was too much validation for what it was. So
Yeah.
what did Kay have to say? What did I miss?
Oh, they're talking about dieting and meeting your goals. Well, one thing last year I tried to do it's mostly my hormones are all out of whack. That on top of my stress hormones is also at its peak.
Poor Bob.
Whatever. For nothing. He's got the life. So I tried to do the very low carb, high protein all last year. Still didn't lose anything. And this, for me, I've got to be active. I've got to get myself back to doing that. But so this year, I've been doing the intermittent fasting. I started it at the end of last year, but went from a 12-hour to the 16 or 17-hour intermittent fasting. And I tell you what, I don't get hungry at all. I have to remind myself to eat, and you just feel better.
Mm-hmm.
The body has more time to heal whenever you aren't constantly digesting something. So when your body is used to digesting the food, and you've got those hours in between, your body goes and starts healing other parts, one after the other. So the longer you do it, the better you just start feeling altogether.
Well, I have kind of an opposite effect going on. Past 4 years, I've had zero appetite, and it's almost, I don't live to eat, I eat to live. So, and I eat very healthy. Yeah. So recently, and I would say this has only happened this past month, recently, as I'm getting back to fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, because for a while, it's just a pain in the butt to cook. And I didn't have the energy for it. So I've started eating again, but healthy, and I eat small portions. Matter of fact, when Taylor's home, she's like, "Is that all you're eating, Mom? Come on." It's like, no, I don't need any more, right? Well, just this month, for some reason, I'll eat and then I'll crave more. And I'm thinking to myself,
retrograde.
I'm like full, right? I'm
It's
full.
the energy. It's the energy. It's the energy. Yeah.
And it's been literally the past 2 weeks, and I'm like, and I did it the other night, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. Like I ate a meal.
Hey, all your stuff is in your box. I printed all
And
the.
then I went to I finished the meal. Then I had a dessert, which was very little. It was just fruit. And then I was sitting there, and a half hour later, I was like, man, I want a bowl of cereal. Man, does that sound good? Does that sound good? And I went and ate it, and I'm like so full, but everything's telling me eat, 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 eat. And that was really not good to do, because then, like you said, I sit there and I've got this thing on full, and I can't go to bed really easily. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So, okay, so asking you guys, kind of like with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, how are you guys coping with the white noise outside of your own circle? Okay, out in your own, good space or whatever. Hang on a minute. Let me see. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, and that's good. And Jess, that. Hey, Jess, I'm gonna give you the. You want to come on? You got 2 minutes to come on. I'll give you the link. So I'd like to talk about that, if you don't mind. Jump in, Miss Jess, if you can. I look at. It's similar actually, because I actually had a car accident when I was like 18. I got rear-ended and I wound up fracturing my spine, and that was kind of the start of it. But healing is long term, and I'm finding that more and more people are coming to realize that, what's the way that it doesn't like just go away right away, right? So if you get in an accident or you break a bone, or it takes time to heal it. And if we don't allow ourselves the space to actually go in and allow that healing to happen, we're in for trouble, because it kind of works like dominoes, right? And it just pops in so hard so that you're.
I'm back. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Jess was just saying, we were talking about how accidents and illness, even if it was in an earlier age, right? Oh, see, and I'm going to bring her in because we're going to talk about it. Hi, Jess. Yeah, I got you.
I'm not prepared for this. I have been baking all day, and I look like, like I do. But hi, I'm here.
Yeah, you look like a busy person. Holly, you've never met Jess. This is Jessica Oz.
Hey.
She's one of our new admins over on group. But yeah, how have you been healing? I mean, did you think about it when you were younger, or no?
So I had pretty good health until my car accident when I was 17. I was rear-ended on the highway on my way to school, and was diagnosed with chronic pain, chronic migraine, degenerative disc disease, lupus, anxiety, depression, CPTSD. Like probably 25 diagnoses are on my list, and they're all pretty severe. I was on no less than 7 meds a day for like 15 years after my accident. And then I had my near-death thing, and I went completely holistic. I went off all medication, and I don't claim any of those diagnoses anymore, and they don't affect me anymore. I mean, not to the extent that they used to. I don't say that I'm in pain. I say that I'm healing, and I'm, getting better. And I'm saying
that mindset alone makes a huge difference. When you say you're broken, your body and your mind is going to respond to being broken.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't think that people, not all people, but the majority of the people, I don't think they realize what they could do for themselves if they just allow it to happen and be open to it and think of it in a positive way. And again, this was a discussion, and I told you yesterday and the day before, I had some people that I was communicating with, and it's like, don't tell me you're beat. Don't tell me you don't want to deal with this. You're going to have to. But instead of getting depressed, get angry. And because this was a situation, and I said, get angry about the situation and take it forward, but in a way that you're not the victim. You're standing up for yourself. So that's kind of the same type of a thing, right?
Yep.
So if we have, yeah, you have to change, because if you don't, and that's what I kind of pointed out, was if you don't, it's all, yep, I'm depressed. Okay, so they'll just keep you. It's like, oh man,
a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people use that clinical, what is it? What am I looking for? Diagnosis as that's it. I'm depressed. That's my excuse, and that's their crutch. I can't do this because I'm depressed. I can't do this because I'm on medication. I can't do that. Yeah, you can. You can do whatever you want to freaking do. And the medicines do not fix anything. They mask problems.
100%.
They don't cure anything.
Absolutely.
None of those medications are created to cure you.
Well, you know,
they're only created to keep you going just enough to keep buying more medication.
What cracks me up about that is they give you the medications and they continue to give you the medications. Yes, they don't want you to take the medications because you can get addicted to them. But like me, I didn't take any of them because I said, why do I want to have brain fog? Why do I want to make the pain go away falsely? Because that's all it's doing is hiding it. And then what do? You're taking it, it's like, oh, well, I can do this because I feel better physically. And you can't, because it's masking and it's shutting down those nerve perceptions. And yeah, I think like you do, if we put that positive out there, positive comes back. Yeah, that's kind of not an easy thing to turn around with some people because
because they have lived in the negative for so long. That's their mindset, and it's a full 180 for those particular people.
Yeah, it's like
a decade-long pity party and tantrum. I had a full scholarship for firefighting that I couldn't accept because of the accident. And so literally I spent more than a decade feeling sorry for myself and life wasn't fair and then blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, get up and do something. Because sitting there and saying it's not fair will not change a dang thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you have, and we met on here, we met with the wolf and the bear. And I mean, I didn't know just before last year, but we've connected in a really big way. And it's like, you are always positive and you're always that bright light for everybody, even in like a crappy world, right? The white noise of the world, you kind of beam out, and I'm so blessed to know you and everybody that's in the group. I mean, you're just, and it's nice because you have turned your life around.
Right. I know what it's like to be sad. I know what it's like to believe wholeheartedly I am broken. My life is fucked. I know what it's like. I've been there. But I also know there's a way out. And it's a lot easier than people think. I heard
it's a matter of setting yourself a goal and getting up and at least attempting that goal. It's just the attempt. You don't have to reach it. Just attempt the goal. Every day until you get there.
I got one of my paintings at least in the box, so it's been sitting there for a month. So it's.
I mean, it would have been so easy for me to just come straight to the office this morning and say, my back hurts, my legs ache, my feet hurt. I don't feel like it, but I didn't. I went straight to the park and I walked sore.
Well, and there's benefits to that. I started. Last Thursday, I got up and I was feeling halfway decent, and I kind of looked around the house, and it's been a good 5 years since I've really deep cleaned and kind of organized my life. And I do surface wise, but I didn't feel well. I didn't have the strength to do
that deep cleaning.
Yeah, and I kept going, you can keep saying that day after day after day. You just need to start getting into it. So I did. I opened one of my closets. I pulled everything out. I've got 6 huge garbage bags that are going to go to St. Vinny's because it's like, I looked at it and I'm like, why do I have 10 red t-shirts? Like I only need a couple, right? So I did it. I did not finish the entire closet, but
you did it. You started it. Yeah.
And so then the next day, I started the other side. So it doesn't have to be like bang, it's all done. It just
Right. It's not all or nothing. It's starting. It's doing something every day.
Every little step, every little movement in the right direction builds up, and it builds momentum.
You've got little ones that you have. So
I was just going to say that I do have little ones, so I'm going to be taking off in just a minute because they'll be back from school.
That's fine.
But it's been so awesome to see both of you, and thank you so much. I love you.
Give the kids hugs for us, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, love you. Bye. She is. I cannot even tell you. She kind of like freshened up my mind when I met her, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, and
I have a feeling, and it's between all of us in the room. There's someone in particular in this room that's missing. Who is it?
Oh, there's 2.
Well, Raylan, but particularly one particular person that sits in the dark all the time in her misery and not doing. Yeah.
I got hold of her last week.
She lets too much get on her. She carries around things that don't even belong to her. I just want to yank her out of her place where she is,
Yeah, I know. I gave her grief the other day. I called her because I said, you're not even answering text. What the heck?
Right.
Are you okay? What's going on? So, yeah, I did get on her.
And then she's like, I'm okay. Eeyore.
Kinda, yeah.
I'm all right.
Well, I can tell you, though, I was thankful for the day that I texted her and she responded at 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm up. I'm just doing crossword puzzles. So I was grateful for her at that time. But I think
she has come a long way, but she still has a good way to go. And I know that, your surroundings makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
The people you have in your circle, the people you have around you, you have to be so careful, especially if you can't change that situation, to not take on their energy.
Yeah.
And their problems, their issues.
But don't forget those people that are in there too. We need to shore them up sometimes, and you need to go out and if it's like an absence that you're wondering about, check in with them, because I'm finding that a lot too. Like, and this may be really stupid to some people, but I go through my phone every week, and it's a different day every week that I do it, and I just send them I love you.
Yeah.
Just that's all I text them. And I just thought it was really important to let people know I love you. I might not talk to them every day, but I can tell them I love you.
Right. So I'm thinking about you.
So Susan, on the bottom here, Miss Susan, are you hearing me? Susan. Miss Susan, do you want to come on? You have something to share? Yes? Should I bring her on just in case? No. She said, okay. All right, I won't bring you on. But yeah, I just think that's really important. You're very blessed. And, I get this from my daughter all the time. You don't have anybody here with you. You're by yourself. I go, not really. I mean, I've got my birds. I've got the cat. I can go outside. I have people up here. But I don't always
have a long time.
Huh?
I didn't get a single minute by myself.
That's what I was going to say.
At the office some days.
But that's what I was going to say. People say, oh, well, doesn't that bother you? And I'm like, no.
Never bothered me, ever bothered me. Never when I was by myself.
I don't have anybody that's a boss of me except me. So, it's like
whenever I was completely by myself for all those years, I loved it. I bathed in that aloneness. I could go lay out on my deck naked because I was in the middle of the woods. Ain't nobody around to say, "Oh, Grandma." I could swim in my pool anytime I wanted. I could walk around the house anywhere I want and do whatever I wanted to do. My house was always nice and neat and clean.
Yep.
That does not happen. It's
Well,
never.
I laugh every time my daughter comes for visits. Oh, the house looks good. I'm like,
Not when she leaves, I bet.
no, the sink is full of dishes, but it's like, it looks good. Like, what the F does that mean? Like, it looks like a pit? Well, no, it just looks nice. And I'm like, okay,
There's nobody here to make a mess.
Yeah, and you do. They leave, and I've got to get new furniture. I know I do, because I did something stupid. It was vinyl, and I set my vacuum cleaner on top of it a few years ago to get windows, to get at the windows with the hose, and it sucked up the vinyl off of. So she brought like covers, right, couch cover for it, and they get up when they sit. I can sit on it, and I can get up, and it's fine.
Yeah,
looks the same as when I sat on it.
Yeah,
they sit on it.
Do they wallow in it like pigs?
Yeah, kinda. They get up, and then they never straighten it before they leave. Right? It's like this big nest, and it's like. And I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing? And she'll go to me, well, what do you mean? I go, oh, so this is what it means. Like, you leave it like this, and when you come back, it's clean and straight again. So the house looks nice. I mean, give me a break. So
Yeah.
Not the boss of me, right? Not the boss of me.
Nobody's the boss of me at my house, but 2 little boys will wear you out.
Oh, yeah. Taylor's fairy godmother, who's been one of my best friends for, 34, 35 years now, because we used to work together at Children's. She's helping take care of her great niece. Her nephew and his wife had a baby, and she's like maybe 1.5 now. And mom works at home, and they have round-the-clock babysitters for her from the family. So she's socialized with the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, whatever, right? And usually Julie will take 2 days a week that she does. She'll call me on the way home. Oh, my God, I need a nap. And I'm like, what do you mean you need a nap? Oh, I need a nap. She wore me out. I go, what did she do? Well, she's got her, like, taught to do different things, right? So now Julie gets there, and she wants her to run through everything. What's going on now? Margaret or Kay?
Kay, what I love is you will know the answer to this question. How do I make no, it's my personal time, stop calling me, an actual respected choice? He's not listening. You just stop answering the phone. You don't respond, you don't reply, you don't text back. You just don't freaking answer. They'll get the picture eventually.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Margaret says, me and my son James have been busy spring cleaning the flat and sorting the garden out, and everything is looking good now. We've been doing a lot of garden stuff. We got a lot. Robert has planted so many bulbs and flowers, and they're all coming up and looking beautiful.
I wish I could, but the ground. I went out 2 days ago when it was 69 degrees, and I took the shovel, and the ground still froze up here. We're always a month behind downstate. So, like, I won't be able to get into the ground with anything till the middle or toward the end of just a little bit before Memorial Day. And if I try, it's just not going to work. And I just can't plant. I want to, but I can't.
Yeah. Well, we've got a greenhouse full of stuff that's growing and thriving. All the bulbs that he planted last fall are doing fabulous. It's looking really good. We're working on the pool now because we've just opened it and it is green and bleh. But here's something from the weekend that you'll love. Leo shouted he took a break from fishing to go play on the playground for a few minutes, and Leo said, did you catch any more, Grandma? And I said, no. And Gabriel comes around and he says, Grandma, you just need to focus on what you want to get. Who's he been listening to? Who's he?
I don't know.
You think they're not listening, but they are paying attention. They're always listening. Grandma, you just need to focus on what you're trying to get.
Well, and it's kind of like, I laugh because Julie was telling me something that her great niece was doing. And I said, and who taught her that? And she got really quiet. And she started laughing. I said, yeah, because what she did, she stopped. Now, the child's 1.5 years. She stopped and got a orange sickle frosty, so like an orange milkshake. Yeah. And she brought it over. And the first time she brought it over, she doesn't get a lot of that stuff. They try to give her the healthy stuff and whatever. Well, she's got her hooked on ice cream now. And she calls her Juju. Juju, ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
So now every time she comes in the house, she wants a frosty, an orange sickle frosty.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
And it's like, well, I wouldn't. I don't care for them, but that's okay.
Orange creamsicles?
Yeah.
What is? You are alien. You
That's probably why I had them here in Lake. Did you see
creamsicles are the bomb?
Did you see the post I made last week?
I saw it. I was trying to figure out what it was.
We thought it was debunked. I thought it was debunked because I did some research on it, and I found it up on Taoist Exchange.
That's awesome, Margaret.
I found it up on Taoist Exchange on Facebook. It's where people that need to find out something, or maybe they need a worker, or they just post stuff, dogs that are missing or whatever. So I found a post up there, and apparently there were quite a few people that actually saw this bright light, and they thought it was people that were bow fishing. And I've never heard of bow fishing, but it's like a bow and arrow. And they go out.
I've seen it.
But they're not only killing carp, they're going after the game fish like walleye and steelhead and pike. And I'm not liking that, you know, because we've got a marsh lake.
So they think that's what it really was?
No, this is what they thought they saw down at the mouth of the river. Okay. I said, well, you know, I said it threw me because I looked at them through the binoculars. And I could see, and it brought it like right up close. And I said, I could not see like a boat, like under it. The light was above the water.
It was just a light.
And it went bright, bright, bright. But then it turned red, and then it turned purple, and the yellow light went away. And those were in some of the things I posted the other day. So I said to the people that were in this thread, I said, oh, well, then that's what it was. I said, I saw it, but I said the red and purple and blue light freaked me out a little bit because the yellow light disappeared. And the thing was just going like this. It was just kind of going back and forth.
I saw that.
And I'm like, what the heck? So the woman that posted goes, oh my God, that's not what I saw. It's not what I saw. And she says, there was no blue, purple, red light on it. What the heck is it? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I even thought, could it be night fishermen with bait or like lures on there?
Could it be this?
Oh, yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. It could be.
The will-o-wisp.
Well, the will-o-wisp.
Will-o-wisp. It's also known as the Ignis foolish fire. It's a mysterious light often seen at night in marshy areas. In folklore, it is believed to be a mischievous spirit or fairy leading travelers astray, serving as a warning against wandering into dangerous territory.
Well, what's interesting on this lake, it's a marsh lake, and it's only 18 at the deepest. It's 18 inches deep, so it's not a huge, or 3 feet deep, I think. It's not. It's more of a marsh lake. And I don't know if you remember this, when we were doing the radio show, I called Papa Ken, Papa Quiet Hawk, because I was in the other place, and I literally saw the same thing, but it was going around my house. And whatever room I went into, that's the window it would show up in. And that was there for an hour,
I'm going to go with it was that fairy coming after you.
Whatever. I was really scared.
That made my day. That made my whole entire day. That's what I'm saying. It is. I don't care what anybody else says. That's my explanation. There you go. It's your friends coming to see you.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Raylan.
You're going to see more of those. You're going to see multiple of those in one night.
Oh, I'm sure. I used to see.
Mark my word. I'm not real serious right now.
No, I used to see them all the time. I'd go down to the lake, which is a mile from me.
You're going to see more than one at a time.
Yeah.
I see at least 3 or 4 at one time is what you're going to be seeing soon.
Well, I've gotten to the point they have had many UFOs spotted in the area in Michigan that I'm in, especially with the Huron Forest that I'm kind of surrounded by.
No, not UFO. No.
Well, I told Raylan the other day because she made a comment about it, told me to be nice, and I said, no, I'm sending him to Holly. I already told them. I sent him a Morse code message because that's kind of universal. I said, okay, here you go. Go find Holly and get Bob up so he can tell her and scratch his head saying, I don't know what it is, dear.
He would be sleeping. Let me tell you how this man goes to sleep. I will lay there sometimes and we turn off the light and I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, I will wake him up. I'll say, you're showing off. Stop it. I said, that's really an asshole move, love. Don't be doing that. That's not nice. You're showing off. And he'll giggle and then I'll start counting again as soon as I shut up. 1, 2, 3. I might get to 10 or 15, and then there you go.
Well, you're worried
about
he's having a hard time keeping up with all your shenanigans. He doesn't know what's coming. He gets tired.
Shenanigans?
Yeah.
Never.
Like, how did his hat?
Okay, this is the funniest. You have to see the whole chain of events. So, when you take little boys fishing, most of the time you're just putting bait on their line or fixing their line because it's constantly tangled or stuck or something. So beyond that, so he was in a moment where his line got tangled and it was very tangled and he's sitting there, trying to get it all untangled. He stood up trying to untangle it and here comes the wind. It knocked his hat right off. And it didn't just fall right in front of him. It went in front of him out in the lake where he couldn't reach it. So his line is really screwed up. He can't throw his line back out. So he grabs Gabriel's little short rod and he's
trying to get the hat back.
As he's doing this, trying to get the hat. Okay. Then the wind blows his chair into the water. And he's still using that little bitty rod to catch his hat, and his hat just keeps going further. I'm there taking pictures of it all, and his hat keeps going further and further out. And then there's next to him on the other side of me is this bush of these big old prickly seeds, look like porcupines.
Yep, I know what they are.
So he rubbed up against them, didn't realize it, so they were all over his butt. And then when his hat got so far out that the little pole wouldn't even, reach to get out to it, he came and sat down on all those prickly seeds. Okay, that's not the end of the story.
You could have
not long after that, we decide, okay, we're done. We're done for today. That's it. So we go home, clean up, then go to Cracker Barrel to get something to eat. And Leo Gabe's meals are normal. My meal is normal. Now, Robert, the lady says to him, she didn't ask anybody else, but she says to him, do you want the lunch portion or dinner portion? It's lunchtime. So he said lunch. What he actually got was this big a spoonful of potatoes, this big spoonful of green beans, and a piece of meatloaf that was about that big, not much bigger than a saltine cracker. I looked over and I was like,
baby,
where's your food? I said, did you already eat all that? Is that what they gave you? He said, no, that's what I got. I had to give him half my food because I was like, that's the most ridiculous. Leo and Gabriel's child-sized portions were way bigger than his lunch portion.
That's weird.
And Robert, if you know, he is all about food. He is a foodie. He likes to eat. He has a big appetite, and he
Why did he let the waitress set that down that small? I would have said, "What's this?"
Exactly. I was in the middle of trying to sort out Leo and Gabriel. I didn't even notice what they sat down in front of him because he didn't say anything. When I was done messing with their plates, I looked over and I was like, "What the heck?"
Did you inhale?
Like, honest to God, it was not any bigger than that. That small of like a spoon of potatoes, a spoon of green beans, and the tiniest piece of meatloaf you've ever seen.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
I was like, "Oh, Mercury retrograde, you pissed somebody off, love." I said, "Mercury retrograde is out to get you."
That poor man, I swear, that poor man. All right. Well, we're at our end already, believe it or not. So you have a wonderful rest of your week. Tell Bob I send him love.
I'm working on some coloring books right now while we're still in retrograde. I'm going to do another nature one for adults. And another one I'm started working on today is places all over the world, like scenery from different countries.
I'm working on manifesting extra cash, lots of extra cash.
I need lots. Oh my gosh, everything's gone crazy. My mortgage has gone up almost $400. My car insurance has gone up.
Christy Sargent, our sister, she got hold of me yesterday from down in Georgia, and it was later at night, and she sent me something, and I was laughing, and we were talking about money. And her daughter came back to move in with them because the prices of the apartment were so high, right? And I said, "Isn't that crazy?" And she says, I said, "What they've done is like all the prices were on demand, kind of like during the pandemic, right? But now that everything's back to normal, the companies were like, well, they paid higher prices for it before. We'll just keep it at that." And it's like, it's ridiculous. But then she made the comment because her dad lives with her, with her and Steve. And, it's not a huge house, but, they got enough room for everybody. And I said, yeah, you think about it. When I was growing up, and you probably were the same. We were 4 kids and a set of parents in a 3-bed. Well, no, actually it was a 2-bedroom house. And my brothers were in the attic that was not finished off. That's where their bedroom was and their beds. And we had one teeny little tiny bathroom where the toilet was wedged in between the sink and the tub. We didn't even have shower because they didn't have those before, right?
Yeah.
And I think we did it. We grew up like that. I mean, I wanted to kill my brothers, but, that's my brothers.
So did you watch the video about the house with the waterfall?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, all right. Back in 2008, when I was working at Coldwell Banker Barnes, I hadn't been there that long. An agent came to me. I did flyers for their properties, so
I remember.
for their listings, and so he gave me this listing, and oh my God, it's this beautiful house on almost 200 acres of land in the middle of nowhere with a 40-foot waterfall.
Wow.
The waterfall is like right close to the house. You can hear the waterfall sitting on the front porch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, that is my dream freaking property. Right. I have already designed the retreat instantly in my mind. There's my little circle of cabins. There's a fire pit in the communal area, and the cabin circle, the big fire pit and sitting area. And then there's a big pavilion that will host classes and whatever else, what other events you want to do. It's got like 6 miles of walking trails in it there. Wow. I'm like, this is my property. So I went to him, I printed him off, and I took him to him. He was sitting in the computer room, and I said, this house is not going to sell. He looked at me, and I said, I licked it. It's mine. It's mine. Nobody else can have it. I licked it. It's mine. And he just giggled. Well, all the time I would go look for that house to see if it's still for sale, and it was. It took 10 years for it to sell. It sold in 2018. Boo. But anyway, so this is way back then, right? So the other day, Tim had gotten a listing that is this big 200-something acre on the river, and it was just, it's Wally was telling me about how beautiful it was, and it reminded me of that house. So I was telling him about that house. So I couldn't remember the street number. I remember the street, Salem Road. Hello, this is my house. And I couldn't remember what town it was in. I just knew it wasn't too far away from Nashville. So I'm trying to find it, and I'm not having any luck. And I remember that the waterfall is a registered waterfall, so I'll go try to find it that way. And somehow I found it. What's the name of the waterfall?
Holly
Jenkins Falls.
Should have got the house. Should have got the house.
No, it's going to be mine. I told Tim the next day, I said to him, I said, hey, when I come into some money, I know I'm going to. I just don't know when, where, or how. I said, but when I come into the money to get this house, you're going to call those people up and say, pack your shit. Pack your stuff. Holly's coming. Pack your stuff. You give me the house because you got to go. This is her house. She licked it. It was hers a long time ago.
That's funny. God,
I mean, how crazy is that?
That is. It's crazy. And then, there's no.
I've never noticed the name of the falls before. Never. And it would have registered anyway before I became a Jenkins. I would have never thought anything of it.
So did you show it to Bob and say,
you could have knocked me out of my chair when I saw that.
You got to tell Bob you better start getting a good job and getting that money coming in more than it is. He needs to buy that for you. No more.
Somebody's got to buy it for me.
No more crystal kits, honey. Get me the house with the waterfall.
Yeah. Well, he's retired, And
well,
military pension is like this big.
They can't stop you from getting another job. I know a lot of retired people that do.
Yeah. Well, until he gets his visa, he can't.
All right. Well, I love you. And thanks to everybody.
I licked it. It's mine.
You guys all have a great week, and we'll see you next week here on Spiritually Paranormal. Bye, guys.
See ya.